Is something troubling you, Ingrid?
Oh, Seteth. You seem to have caught me when I thought nobody was around.
Perhaps I can help, if you would like to share.
I wouldn't want to bother you with my trivialities.
I will not pry, of course. But if you keep it to yourself, no one will be able to help you.
That's true. It's regarding my father.
Count Galatea. I have met him once or twice.
Yes, that's him. He and I have parted ways now. House Galatea was financially unstable for a long time. We were hardly able to support our soldiers and their steeds. My father had hopes that with my crest, I'd be married into a noble family, and that House Galatea's financial troubles would be a thing of the past.
Ah, I see. And the other house would benefit from the addition of your crest-bearing blood.
That was certainly the idea, but I broke ties with them. I do wonder how they are doing back home.
It seems to me you have suffered much for the misfortune of being born with a crest.
I beg your pardon?
I know crests are highly valued, but they are also a burden. My feelings are mixed.
You truly think so? But you're so devoted to the goddess. I'm surprised to hear you say such a thing.
Perhaps one day I will expound upon my opinion of crests in greater detail with you. For now, let it suffice to say that whether or not you bear one is secondary to your identity. You are a person, first and foremost. And you should be permitted to grow as a person, crest or not.
I agree. Thank you for listening.
If you ever wish to discuss this again, consider me available whenever you please.
Thank you so much.
Ingrid, are you familiar with the story of the King of Liberation and the 10 elites of Fodlan?
Of course. They were the heroes who struck down evil with the power of the sacred weapons, protecting our land and people. Their strength was passed down through the ages, manifesting itself in the crest some of us are born with.
Yes, the 10 elites certainly possessed great power. But does that make them worthy of worship?
I imagine you ask because they later fought amongst themselves, turning on one another, ravaging the land.
Precisely. Initially, Nemesis and the 10 elites worked together to bring peace to Fodlan. But soon their ambitions got the best of them, and they clashed, using their sacred weapons on anyone they chose, strong and weak alike. What I mean to say is, possessing strength alone does not make one worthy of respect. Rather, one should be judged by how they choose to use that strength.
Yes, I agree.
If you follow that logic, then you will see it also applies to those who are born with crests. Now think of how your father wishes to wed you to another family's fortune on the basis of your crest.
Yes? What of it?
These are purely inherited qualities. Is it not foolish to judge a person's value by some inherited fortune? That is all a crest is, really.
That's what I think too. Having a crest or not has no bearing on your worth as a person.
I understand that Count Galatea believes he has the right to manage your affairs. I am certain he has his own share of problems. And I do not wish to meddle or lay blame. But if there is anything I should like to say to his daughter, it is this. How you live your life is up to you.
Thank you for your counsel and wisdom, Seteth. Father's hopes were dashed long ago. I will take some time to reflect on what lies ahead. My future.
Still contemplating, I see.
Without so much as a word, you've read me through and through. Since last we spoke, I've been thinking a lot about my future. How I want to spend my life. It's a lot to think about, and I haven't entirely sorted out where I'm going. I think I need more time to grow.
On the contrary, you have given this honest and sincere thought. I am quite impressed, actually.
You're impressed with me?
Worry about the future is not unique to youth. It is human nature. At the risk of being overbearing, might I offer you one more piece of advice?
Of course.
Have you considered what your life would be like had you not been born with a crest? Do you suppose that you would have been ordinary? Insignificant? I do not think so. Even without a crest, such a promising young lady as yourself would have a bright future ahead of her.
Seteth, I
am not typically inclined to flattery, so I hope you will take my words to heart. Have faith in yourself. If you trade that faith for a misplaced pride in your crest, I will have to reassess your character.
I've no intention of doing such a thing. It will take me time and experience, but I will find my path and walk it proudly.
I am glad to hear it, Ingrid.
Seteth, do you have a moment?
Certainly. Have you arrived at a decision about what you would like your future to be?
I think so. I was hoping I might ask for your opinion on the subject.
I am flattered. Please proceed.
I want to serve as a knight and protect my homeland. I know this through and through. It has been my truth for as long as I can remember. However, I feel I should choose a path that would benefit my father. I was raised by him in a happy home, never wanting for anything, despite my family's meager finances. I owe it to him to choose a path he'd approve of.
If that is the decision you have reached after such careful deliberation, then I have no objections. But may I ask you something?
Please, go ahead.
Have you actually had a conversation with your father about this?
I have not. There hasn't been time to pay him a visit. He did permit me to join this war. But I was brash about my departure. I left forcibly.
In that case, it is all the more important that you speak to him.
Perhaps. My father is an obstinate man. At this point, I'm not sure he'd care to hear what I have to say.
I do not know the man well, so perhaps it is not my place to judge. However, I do know what it's like to fret constantly over one's family. If he is as doting a father as you say, then he will want to know how you truly feel. I do not think he will refuse your wishes if you share them with him honestly. Of course, if your decision remains the same after speaking with him, then so be it.
Seteth, thank you. You're right. I should talk to him. I've spent so much time thinking about how stubborn he is that I've neglected to acknowledge my own part in all this. Rather than blaming him, I need to recognize how stubborn I myself have been. Maybe if I open up and allow for vulnerability, he will too.
That is the way. Hold your head up high and stride forward into the unknown.
I will. And I will keep your words close to my heart. Thank you for everything, Seteth.